going to be doing this week? Do you know?
Rationing.
Yeah, do you know, what does rationing mean?
It means when you get a little bit of food.
And why do you only have a little bit of food, do you remember?
Because you need it to go around everyone.
Good job. Elspeth, what do you think about your food? Is it yummy? Yum yum.
Is it yummy, Elspeth? Yeah? Is it yummy, Elspeth?
Oh, that's a good colour. A little bit lighter than I would normally have. That's a lot lighter than I would normally have. Never mind. You see how it's caught the bits? Yeah, so it doesn't go in a cup of tea. Let's put that in there.
That's so cool, isn't it?
That, the colour, is what I would call dishwater. So maybe I didn't put enough tea in. That is not an acceptable cup of tea.
Oh, but make a new one!
Well, I don't want to waste my cup of tea, so I'm just going to do it. That is closer to white than brown than I would like my cup of tea. But, here.
But that's how a Romans make their cup of tea.
So Romans made that tea, was it? Oh, okay.
No, the cup is right.
How is it, Daddy?
It's... I made it too weak.
So I have now taken the bread out of the oven. As you can see, it has risen a little bit. Hopefully it's not going to be too bad. Let's try tipping it out onto the cooling rack and we'll have a look.
So what do you reckon about your creation, Lois?
Yeah, it's okay. Very dense. Is that yummy, Elspeth? Is that nice? Okay, Daddy, what are your thoughts?
It's meat, 2 veg. Well done.
You got something to say now?
More.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, I want more.
What are you thinking about your breakfast?
Did you have to put random on it?
Does it taste nice? What do you think of the bread?
Great.
Our circle of potato pastry with the filling inside for the steak pasty, which
Yep. I can find that at home.
So this is the cooked pie, and to be honest, it doesn't really look much different from before it was cooked. I haven't tried it yet, but it smells like my grandparents' house in here, and I am not looking forward to it.
It's one of the things yesterday when you cook the cabbage, I was thinking this hasn't been boiled to death, it's still got some texture to it. So I don't know if that's completely accurate, but I remember the smell of boiled cabbage from grandparents' houses. It's a definitive smell, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh. What is it?
Sweetie.
So, Gabriel, those sweeties, that is the amount of sweeties that you are allowed for the entire week. Do you understand? That means if you eat them all now, then that means you don't get any sweeties later in the week. So you have to choose what you're going to do, okay? So they taste nice. So should we take some out and save some for another day?
This one. This one. This one. And this one.
Boy, Gabriel.
Good boy, I'm so proud of you.
3, 4, 5.
Good job. I'm I'm feeling a little bit fed up and I'm already sick of potato. Here we have a bowl of porridge with sugar and sultanas. Nothing weird about that.
What have we got here, Lois?
So, I know that you absolutely love biscuits, but we couldn't...
Call me your biscuit monster.
I do. We couldn't get biscuits because we didn't have enough of the ration points available from we needed the points for other things. So I thought I'd have a go at making my own biscuits. And it's pretty much all the same stuff that you would put in normally. Butter, well, half butter, half margarine to try and eke out the butter. Sugar, flour, oats, and a precious egg.
You start egg.
One egg. One of our eggs. And then in true comedic fashion, the oven broke. So these have been baked in our next door neighbour's oven. So a lot of effort went into these.
They are tasty, they are crispy, and they are soft in the middle. A good biscuit.
So day 3 dinner, we have these kind of spam croquette things. I've never had spam before. It didn't smell very nice when I took it out of the tin, but looks okay now. With some kind of my take on chips made in the oven with some lard and carrots and a creamy leek sauce. Elspeth is enjoying the carrots. What have you tried so far, Gabriel? You've tried the spam, and what do you think?
It tastes great.
Tastes great. You were really excited about trying the spam, weren't you? Yeah. This is called the Oslo meal. It's developed in Norway in the 1930s, originally as a fairly cheap and nutritious way to make sure that children stayed fed. You're also entitled to half an apple if you want to finish it off, but have that afterwards. So I'm quite looking forward to this. It's just salad and bread with butter and cheese.
What I'm most excited about is we've got reasonably thick butter on both slices, so we've been frugal earlier on in the week, so we're able to kind of reap the rewards later on. The cheese is a little bit lacking. That's my portion of cheese. I would say that would do me on some crackers for a snack. But yeah, I am probably going to shove it all in the bread and just shove it in my face, I think. Like what someone else has done.
What have you done, Gabriel? What have you made with yours?
A ham sandwich.
A ham sandwich? Where did you get the ham from?
A melting toasty.
Did you?
Wait
What have
a
you
minute.
really got? You've got cheese.
That's not
It's white ham.
It's white
White ham. He's being a cheeky
Especially
monkey.
bleached.
What do you reckon, Elspeth? Is that yum yum? The beetroot seems to be a hit with the little one over here. Oh yeah, look, she's after more. Wow, we're gonna tuck in. Okay.
You said I can't have any more tea, but I wanted underneath, and I can't put down the
And why can't you have more cheese?
because we need some for the other days.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Angry.
Angry. Do you really like cheese?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like eggy bread that I've had before, but this is a running theme with this week. It's perfectly edible. Yum yum. Yummy tea.
Sunday, so day of the Great British Roast. However, we don't have any meat. Are you eating the lentils? And what do you think?
Yum, 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 in my tum tum.
Oh, have you found some more cheese? Mmm. Day 7. Have another treat meal. Beans on toast. And you've got a little bit of cheese. Leftover cheese. I gave most of it to Elspeth for lunch. But
That's very kind of you. This is again treat. Wow, baked beans. That's amazing.
What are we?
My favourite meal was definitely beef olives. That was very nice. Favourite lunch was the pasties, basically things with meat in it. There were other things that were nice. The potato bean thing that was fried in lard was quite nice, but definitely the beef olives was really yummy.
I think my favourite dinner as well was probably the beef olives. So I should have saved that for later in the week. Maybe
You wanted to
have
eat
the first meal as our favourite. In terms of lunches, I think my favourite lunch was just the Oslo meal with the salad and the cheese and the bread. I think because I hadn't had any cheese for a few days up to that point, and so it was just really exciting.
The worst meal. I think the pie, possibly. I've kind of wolfed everything down. I know that's a bit of a thing, isn't it? You eat fast, so you don't have to taste your food. But but on the whole, a lot of it's actually been quite palatable, and been I've not really had a problem with any of the foods really. You did with the pie.
Pie was terrible.
I just needed to eat. I needed food, but I think that was, I don't know. Maybe because of that, going into smelly granny's house. The smell of the kind of overly boiled cabbage.
I was feeling really down on the day that we had pie. I was like, this is just awful. I was wondering how I was going to make it through because it was so bad. But yeah, that was the worst.
But say it wasn't awful.
I thought it was.
Like if you'd have given me kippers, then that would have been really bad. But no, it's not too bad. Probably that one. You?
Yeah. Same. Yeah, the pie definitely.
I definitely feel like I've been on a diet effectively, but I am feeling healthier. I feel like there's been a little bit of a shift over the course of this week. We've talked about that kind of low level tolerable hunger, and actually there's been a kind of like an acclimatization and being okay with that. So I'm still hungry after eating dinner, and I could have done with a bit more food, but I'm very much okay with that. Whereas last week I would have been craving for something, some biscuits or something. Certainly when I've been getting to the end of the day and brushing my teeth are not being furry like they usually are. A lot of sugary things in our day-to-day diet. I do feel good inside myself physically. I feel pretty healthy.
Yeah, I think same for me. I feel healthier than I did as well from before. I didn't weigh myself or anything before we started, but I feel like I might have lost some weight, but that's just
I did think
in my head or something. Yeah.
Was it day 4 or 5? I should have weighed myself.
I was going to, but I couldn't find the scale. But yeah, I feel healthier. Like Stephen said, like that low level hunger all week long. But yeah, in terms of health, I do feel pretty good.
Kinda. I am a little bit sad that it's come to an end. but I appreciate it's been very easy for me being the man of the house and you doing all of the cooking, all of the meal planning and the shopping and everything. So it's very easy for me to say that, and I appreciate the hard work that you've put into this project. But I mean, I found it quite an enjoyable experience. More so, I had a lot of anticipation, trepidation at the beginning of the week, thinking, oh no, this is going to be really hard, and I hadn't done the same research that Lois had done, so I didn't know the sort of foods that she was looking at and planning and putting into that the meal plan. I think I could cope with it again. Yeah.
At the moment, I kind of think no, just because of how much work and how much I hated spending every moment in the kitchen. But I didn't hate the experience of eating, and I don't hate how much we've had to eat. I just didn't really enjoy like the cooking. So maybe if we did an unauthentic shared cooking experience, then maybe I could endure another week of rationing.
I think there's the whole thing about willpower, isn't there? And the thing about rationing is that the choice is taken away from you, and that makes it really easy. Whereas if you've got a cupboard full of chocolate, which we do, and have done the whole way through, we've got a lot of Easter chocolate that hasn't been touched over the course of the week. So that's there's some of that's definitely waiting for us. But when the choice is completely with you, it's very easy to cave in to that. But when it's because we've said that this is what we're doing, it's 1945. This is what you can have. This is what you can't have, and so the rules are set. And because we're doing it for a week, it's very easy for us to go, okay, right, those are the rules, we're going to play. We're going to play the game. Mm-hmm. Whereas if we were doing this indefinitely, that it would start to grind, I think making that active choice to limit our diet.
I think a big one for me is probably waste. So just I've made sure I've had the vegetables that I've bought for the week during rationing, and I've used bits of this here, bits of this there, whereas what I would do normally is I would use my bit of vegetables that I need, and then the rest would just sit in the fridge, and then I would throw it away a week later when I went shopping again. And so I end up throwing away quite a lot of food, I think, in everyday life, and I think that I could plan our general meals maybe a bit better to try and reduce the amount of waste that we have with throwing things away. Not so much once we've cooked it, but like the fresh fruit and vegetables that I haven't used in a recipe. I think that's a big one for me. And also just realising how small amount you can actually survive on, and how you can just get on with it, rather than I don't need to always feel full. I think it was, I can't remember what day it was now, a couple of days ago, and I was waiting for Stephen to come home so that we could have the dinner, and I was cooking dinner and I was desperately wanted something to eat. I was so hungry while I was cooking dinner, and I realised that if it had been normal, I would have taken something out of the cupboard, like, you know, a few crisps or like some crackers or something, and I would have had a snack while I was waiting for dinner. And that just seems so ridiculous. Like, I don't need to eat while I'm cooking dinner. Like, I don't need a snack while I'm cooking dinner. You just feel like you want it. So just kind of, I think, being more aware of when I eat, so that I can reduce the amount of mindless snacking. And I think that will be much healthier.